Fathers' rights is something that was a response to something that personally happened to me. I mean, I do Africa every day, and it's at least a good half of my year doing stuff. But fathers' rights, my wife left me in '95, and she fell in love with somebody else, and I was destroyed because I loved her very much, and but it happens, and emotionally I couldn't really deal with that, but intellectually, when I was coherent, I understood it. But I didn't understand why I had to lose my family also. I think it is of critical value that the father is present in the lives of their children. This isn't me emotionally saying it, this is every single piece of social, psychological, educational evidence, all of it. So why do I know this? Because, of course, being mad, I went to Cambridge University and asked them for research papers, and they asked me to join their socio-legal family research group, so I did, and then I contributed to their research papers. And then I did 2 documentaries, not about my children, but what's going on? What happens in a society that decides to help destroy itself by breaking families up by law, that atomizes families? What's the difficulty in bringing up an infant? Where's the difficulty? Can you change a nappy? A fucking idiot can change a nappy. Can you make the beans? Yeah, I can make beans and rice. Any fool can do it. Can you read the story? Yeah. Can you wash a baby? Yes. Can you cuddle them and kiss them and love them? Yeah. Okay, then dude, fine, go ahead. Look after your kid. That's it. We're humans. That's what we are supposed to do.
One last question. You have visited a favela in Rio, Rocinha, the biggest favela in Rio. How was that, seeing poverty in Rio, where a third of the population live in favelas?
Now, please, people watching this in Brazil must think I'm an idiot. I am. I mean, I've come for a few hours. I've gone on the tour. I've just looked and sort of listened and watched and smelt. And the smell is okay. The sewers are functioning. The water was clean. The children were clean. Lots of guns, but it was structured anarchy. If I compare it to the bad areas of London and Liverpool, I'd compare it favorably. If I compare it to some of the towns of Africa, I'd compare it massively favorably, really. I mean, and here we're talking about terrible things like comparable poverty. And every time I talk to an intelligent Brazilian person here, and I ask them, really, tell me, they'll say it's a very casual society. They use a different word, but they're casual about the wealth and the poverty and side by side. It doesn't contrast. I mean, as a stranger, as a visitor, it doesn't contrast so sharply as it does in Africa, where it is intolerable, the conditions, intolerable, unhuman. Now, in the favelas, the 2 that I went to, it's a coherent functioning, or seems to be, society. There are NGOs in there with schools, and they're giving their kids education. But the great tragedy is that in England there are endless social programs to try and make this work. In Africa there aren't. There just isn't the wealth to spend. In some of the countries, as they grow, it's chaotic, because government is chaotic. And some of the individuals who head the governments are chaotic. The military are chaotic. Brazil is not a chaotic society. Brazil is growing at vast rates. You have got endless resources. You are highly educated, a vast portion of your population. What is it that allows you to think that it's okay for the favelas to become institutionalized poverty? What is it that allows you not to feel shame that tourists come to visit your other citizens in tour buses and look at poor people living? Why aren't you ashamed of that? And why don't you demand? I know that President Lula has initiated programs. I've seen them. I saw some of them. And believe me, I'm sorry if this is insulting. I don't mean it to be. I'm somebody who's here for 48 hours, so forgive me. It's just an impression. But everyone says to me, and I like politics, so I look at figures when I come to a country, that corruption is endemic in this country from top to bottom. Well, shame on you. Shame on you. You're wealthy enough not to take. You can still get really rich in this country, and it's going to be a massive power. Massive power. You know, take care of your poor people. That's where the next, they're not just great footballers, that's where the next brains are.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob.
Show business.
Se você gostou da entrevista, mesmo se não gostou, quer ver mais sobre ela, visite o blog do Milênio. A gente vai responder suas perguntas, faça comentários sobre essa entrevista. Estamos esperando você.